Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, your source for exceptional video analysis of stocks, ETFs, and indices so you can become a better trader. Welcome back. It's Monday night, July 27th. We've got one day of action to take a look at, and I've got the NASDAQ up here. Let's go to the Dow. We've got four stocks we're going to look at tonight: Baidu, Alibaba, Skyworks Solutions, and Cyber Ark. All right, the Dow was down almost 128 points today, pretty much down from the get-go. It opened almost, well, I guess it opened slightly down. Actually, I think it opened a lot more than that. My data is not showing that, so sometimes I wonder about that. But we did take out the early low from earlier in the month, and so we continue this pattern of lower highs and lower lows. And that's the way she looks. Now, we've been down 5 days in a row, so it wouldn't surprise me if we got a bounce. Now, the situation is not quite the same, but we're continuing the sell-off on the S&P 500. Also, the NASDAQ is also the same, down 5 days in a row. Continuing that picture I've talked about, the New York Composite. Wow, it's actually coming down here right near the neckline. So this is now starting to have the best symmetry. I mean, I could actually draw and come up with a head and shoulders pattern on the Dow Industrials also, but it's not nice. It's not as clean and as nice as what I'm seeing on the New York Composite. And I do like the symmetry a little bit better here. So this is the way it's looking, but we've been down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row in the New York Composite. So there's no rule that says you can't be down 10 days in a row. So you just got to keep playing it out. The odds continue to favor that you're going to get a bounce the more days that, naturally that you keep going down. Now, the Russell 2000, we did this on Friday, breaking this trend line, and we got the continuation down further. Now, where, let's see, this low, it's approaching this low of early May, okay? And it's almost exactly there, and it bounced a little bit off of that, not much. I wouldn't even call that a bounce, an intraday bounce. Take Shanghai. So everybody talked about the fact that this was down at 8.5%, the biggest drop since June 2007 or something like that. Well, I mean, that's significant. But if you go back to June, I mean, we're going to need, to me, this point right here has got to be taken out to confirm that this is really, really, heading down. I mean, this thing could still do something different. And the point I'm making here is, I mean, if we're talking about June 2007, let me just go back there real quick, because I was looking at this earlier in the day. And here's 2007, and here's June. I mean, if that was the 8.5% drop in June, sometime in here, well, it sure didn't. I mean, it didn't do it in, but the environment's a little bit different, and it's had one heck of a ramp up here. So we'll see. And the psychology is different. Psychology's kicking in. I mean, it just had a little bit more of a bubble feel here. So this is going to be interesting to watch. There is no doubt about it. And the next one we're going to take a look at our indicators, short-term trading index. The trend 1.23. So the 10-day is at 1.20, right in the middle of things. The VIX today, boy, did it pop up on the open. It basically closed right where it opened, right here, a little doji bar. And but the entire trading was above Friday's range. So, pretty aggressive action here on the VIX. Little concerned that, I mean, if you think that the market's going to continue heading down, I mean, this would be a signal that maybe it's going to pause, okay? And given that the market's been down for 5 days, 5 to 7 days, depending on which indice you're looking at, this could be an indication that maybe it's going to pause. Let's see. I want to take a look at the high yield bond funds. Take a look at these key ETFs. This has continued this trend down. It's getting closer and closer to taking out that December low, which is well below the October low. It's not like the market, where the October low was lower. The damage was done. I've talked about this, and this continues to push down in a risk-off mode. TLT, the 20-year Treasury bond ETF, pushed up a little more again today, which again means continued interest rates dropping slightly on the long term. So we've got a Federal Reserve starting a 2-day meeting tomorrow, and then Wednesday they'll have they'll publish 1 o'clock Central Time their statement, and then I'm sure actually I don't know if she's holding a press conference or not at the end of this one. I'm not sure she does it every time, but that's going on in the backdrop too. Let's take a look at the dollar index. Now, the U.S. dollar, I'm not quite sure. It looks like it may be breaking down here, so I'm a little skeptical. You notice how this push was kind of a vertical push? Well, this is flatter. And so I'm kind of looking at this going, maybe something's still going on in terms of corrective action, and that this may not be the low. I'm a little suspicious of what's happening here, so we'll continue to watch that. And let's see, the next one is oil, and we'll, I like checking in on oil and gold and seeing what's happening with these key commodities. And U.S. oil, the oil ETF, it is down here. This low 15.64, and this low over here 15.61. We're 3/100ths of a point off the low made back in March. So it's definitely coming right on down. And the actual price on the crude futures was $46.98 a barrel today is where it closed. Gold, GLD. Now, it dropped back down a little bit here, kind of a doji type bar, you can see, candle, call it a bar, candle. We'll see whether or not this reversal bar is going to hold. We break this low, that's going to be, a bearish continuation in terms of that activity. All right, let's take a look at our 4 stocks. Now, I start off with Alibaba. Alibaba popped down because of all the pressure with the Chinese on the Chinese market and the Chinese stocks, and so Alibaba dropped down here, although it rallied back. And so, when you look at this candle, it opened right here and went down during the day, and then came back and closed above where it opened, but it's still below the previous day close. Did I say it's still above the previous day close? It's still below the previous day close. Anyway, so you know what I'm talking about. So now I'm kind of wondering, is this more of a continuation? We'll see. We need a little bit more evidence that it wants to continue down. Then this looks counter trendish to me. We went to a lower low in here. We'll see. All right, the next one is Baidu, and boy, Baidu, every time you start getting excited about it, thinking you're launching into somewhere new, higher territory, and then it just crashes back on down. Yeah, it's done this now, 1, 2, 3rd time. And you got to be a little suspicious of the fact that the trend is still down. Lower highs across the board, lower lows. That's what you're dealing with. You don't have to look at the moving averages. All you got to do is look at the price action, and that tells you exactly what's going on. The thing about Baidu is, in terms of if you want to try to play it to the downside, it doesn't let you in very easily. It did here, but it sure didn't here with this big drop, and it sure didn't today here, because you got this reversal bar down on Friday. Now, you could have jumped in, but that would be pretty aggressive. Of course, you could always, there's a lot of ways to play it. But anyway, the bottom line, the picture on Baidu is it is still in a downtrend. All right, next one is Skyworks Solutions. Skyworks looks like it's topping out to me. It's not totally clear. We broke this trend line. I talked about it. We bounced up off of it. I drew this other trend line, said it could be approaching it. We got a little pullback in here and then slammed on Friday. slammed on down. We got the continuation. So we broke the trend line here today. So given that we're doing that, I'm expecting more continuation. Wouldn't be surprised to see it continue all the way down here to the 233-day moving average. We are going to get some price support probably with this congestion right in here, which is going to probably tie into that in here. So probably somewhere in the 83 to 85, 82 to 85 range maybe. We'll see. We'll continue to watch this, but right now it's acting negative. And the last one is CyberArk. I know one of the, I think all the security software type companies were down today, or most of them anyway. So this was down 3.18 today. I didn't, it's kind of suspicious looking at, it almost looks like a bear flag to me, like a flagpole, a little flag upside down. And not ready to, put a trade idea out on it in terms of an entry, but it's getting close. And mainly because, we've got, look at the 21 below the 55. The 10 is still slightly below the 21. I want to see this come back down and close below the 10. We'll see what it looks like when it does that. Still expecting this to come back down, at least test this this low here. And where is that low? That low is right around 47.5 or so, 47.51. Yep. So we'll see. That's what I'm looking for. Now it could change. This could continue to push, but right now it doesn't act like it wants to. And I'll be looking for a close below the 10 to see if we want to get active in this thing. So, all right, that's the look at these 4 stocks tonight. And I'll be back on Wednesday with another market update. And we'll take a look at more of the international markets and check in on China again then. So everyone have a great Tuesday, Wednesday, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday night.